All right, everybody, welcome back. It is currently Monday, September 9th. We're taping this. Early second quarter of the Niners-Jets game going on right now. Good game on our hands. It's interesting to see the Jets actually with a functioning offense. Haven't seen this in quite some time, maybe since Ryan Fitzpatrick was at the helm. But today we're really just going to get into NFL stuff. You know, life catches up. We don't have much time, at least today, to really go over what happened in the college football world. But we're gonna let Jack's gonna give he has a few words he wants to say, and then we're gonna let Ara get some things off his chest. So Jack, take it away.
I would like to quote someone from the last podcast. And I want you guys to guess who said this. Thank God for Marcus Freeman. He's got the juice. Who said that?
Said that? Or maybe Owen.
I want you to think who said thank God for Marcus Freeman.
It's Ara.
It's Ara.
It couldn't have been Ara.
No. No, it was
Notre
Ara.
Dame fan in their right mind would say that.
I mean, dude,
it was right after A&M.
It's just crazy. Like, I was talking to my dad the other day, like after the game, and it's like, you just can't find a guy. Like, it's like Brian Kelly is there. He wins every game that you're like, okay. He won like 54 straight unranked games in a row. And then they go out there and they'll shit their pants against anybody. Like anybody that is worth a damn, odds are Notre Dame shit their pants against him when Brian Kelly was the head coach. Like 2021, we lost to Cincinnati at home, and they ended up going to the playoffs. And that was like the game to kick us out. And now Marcus Freeman comes out there, 2022 Ohio State. That team sucked ass. That Notre Dame team. They go out there. Kyler Buckner's at quarterback. He doesn't even play football anymore. He signals the ball in. He signals the plays in for Notre Dame. He was our starting quarterback 2 years ago. He gave the juice at Ohio State. We lose by like 12 at Ohio State week 1. Next season, we bring the juice again against Ohio State. Lose a game on a heartbreaker. Like, all right, young coach. Year 3, the team goes out there, 107,000, plays Texas A&M, beats them by 10. And you're like, okay, like we have arrived. But here we are. Because Marcus Freeman, for some ungodly known reason, cannot beat teams that he's just supposed to beat. Like, it's definitely like, I was like coping the other day with myself. I was in Syracuse after the Syracuse game I went to Syracuse game. And then after that, watched the Notre Dame game. I'm sitting there at like my girlfriend's like family friend function thing. Like everyone's, just like drinking. I'm sitting there watching the game on my phone. I dismiss myself for like 5 minutes, call my dad just to let it into the air. I was like, holy shit, dude. Like I was at Marshall. Like I thought it could not get any worse than that. He's 20-9 as a head coach with losses against Stanford, Marshall, and now Northern Illinois. Like you literally could walk. Like if Brian Kelly had this schedule, I will say minus A&M, he probably loses that game. Notre Dame sleepwalks to the college football playoff. Like literally sleepwalks because he would go out there and he would just not overthink it. And like I just don't understand. And then like Riley Leonard is so awful at throwing the football. Like I don't know if you guys saw the play, 2nd and 1 at the 48-yard line, 5 minutes to go. Riley Leonard drops back to pass, play action. It's like you control the game. Like you take an incompletion, it's 3rd and 1. You still can just churn out the game, kick a field goal even. What is it, dude? That throw, I'm sure some of you guys saw it. I haven't seen a worse throw since I played high school football by kids when they like run the wing tee. Like Chris Mitchell had a step on whoever the hell that was from Northern Illinois. Like Jack used to be a pitcher. He has a ligament tear in his arm. He probably could have overthrown Chris Mitchell or just to hit him, Riley Leonard puts this thing on a rope far and away, like high and outside on a line. The Northern Illinois guy was trailing Chris Mitchell so hard he had to stop to turn around to catch the ball. It was actually insane. And like this defense is so good against the pass, and I just don't understand. Northern Illinois comes out there, they gash you. It's like 2nd and 8, and they gash you for 6 yards. It's like, dude, what the hell are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
You put a nice spin on it though, right after the week 3 rankings came out. Said you lost to a ranked team.
Yeah, number 25. They're number 25 in the nation. And I mean, like, looking down the line, they got NC State coming up, I think, in 2 weeks. But other
It
than that,
might not be as good as we thought.
No, but it's like if they win that, then they have a max schedule. And it's like, is Northern Illinois going to go to the college football playoff is kind of what you're sitting here saying right now.
Yes, they will.
Because, like, they will be, like, if they run the table, beat North NC State, and then, take care of business in the MAC, which, I mean, if they play like they did against fucking Notre Dame, they should. Like, I saw like, I follow a bunch of Notre Dame players on Twitter, and they're like, Notre Dame has to be, like, how, like, college football has the toughest places to play? Notre Dame must be the most, like, relaxed, enjoyable, most fun, inviting place to play if you are an away opponent. Like, they need to start selling, like, beer there or something. It's like the fans bring it, but it's just like, I don't know.
Maybe they should just start recruiting drunk Irishmen as opposed to actual football players.
Dude,
they come out and play with a little heart.
Something. It's just crazy, dude. It's like, I love Marcus Freeman. It's like, that's where I'm at now. Like, I'm in denial because I'm like, part of me loves, like, I love Marcus Freeman as a person, but, like, you see this happening year after year, and you're like, does he know what is going on? Like, defensive coordinator Al Golden, offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock, they're making more than probably most college football head coaches. And you got this analytics guy, sitting right next to him the entire fucking game, telling him, like, I don't know what the hell to do. Like, it's insane. Jeremiah Love, God bless him, best player on the team outside of Benjamin Morrison, scampers to put you up 14-13, 34-yard touchdown, hurdles over a guy, touches the ball one time after that. Like, I just don't understand.
It's got to be so tough for you too after a game like the A&M game where Freeman comes out and, like, has those boys ready to play in a hostile environment, and then he comes up and puts this stinker up for you guys.
Dude, and it's one of those things too where it's like, granted, it's early in the season, you'd rather lose early than late, but dude, like why?
To Northern Illinois though,
dude, playoff potential.
I was going to ask you if you thought that the immediate narrative following the game that it was one of the worst losses of all time. What do you think about that? You think that was justified?
I think it's the worst loss in Notre Dame football history.
really.
Yeah, I mean, like, outside of, like, the fluty Hail Mary, but, like, that Boston College team in '93 was ranked. Like, I mean, I was at Marshall. I mean, like, they've definitely had some stinkers. Brian Kelly lost to USF, Tulsa, Navy. Like, I mean, you just come to expect it, but you're like, holy shit, dude. Like, can we just not have a seat? Like, what does a guy got to do just to have just, like, it's like, at this point, like, would you rather have lost to A&M than come out there and beat Northern Illinois because you're supposed to? You go into Texas A&M as an underdog and win, and then you come to your home opener and lose to a MAC school.
That is an interesting point because you win that A&M game and you come out and lose this game, and you're probably putting together a worse playoff resume right now than you would have been if the roles were reversed.
Yeah. And it's like, if A&M goes out there and wins, keeps winning, but, like, Notre Dame's got to win. And, like, we're one of 5 teams in college football that hasn't thrown for a passing touchdown. So
that's so bad.
Because Riley Leonard actually can't throw the ball. Like, Marcus Freeman during his pregame presser on NBC, they're like, what do you want to see out of your quarterback today against Northern Illinois? And he's like, I want to see him, play with it, like, just be himself, like, just take what the offense gives him, like, don't need to do anything fancy or out of the ordinary. It's like, do they just know that he cannot throw the ball further than 10 yards? Let him, like, be like, feel confident about it, because, like, they didn't take one shot against A&M. They took, like, maybe a slot fade, but, like, other than that, like, they didn't do anything. They ran the ball. They played Notre Dame football. as they just 49ers just scored. But like today we ran like 2 play action passes on Saturday. And yeah, the seat heated up instantly on Marcus Freeman. And I love the guy. And like
Very hot.
I want him to be the guy because he's such a good dude. But you're like, dude, you can't lose to Northern Illinois at this point. Like, you can't.
So you're saying the NFL equivalent to you is the New York Giants?
No, we are actually the Green Bay Packers or the Dallas Cowboys. That is what being a Notre Dame fan is.
The New York Giants. It's a New York Giants situation right here. Daboll, you want him to be a good coach on the hot seat. Both quarterbacks are dog shit. You lost to 2 terrible teams.
But we haven't. Being a Notre Dame fan is the equivalent of being a Green Bay Packers fan or a Dallas Cowboys fan, and that's just a fact.
I mean, maybe year round, like over years, but I'm just talking about like right now.
But like Marcus Freeman he still wins games. Like the Giants are just in a horrible spot.
Do you feel like you've gotten everything off your chest?
I literally could do an entire show, but yeah, for now, like it's just insane, dude. Like if they go out there and they do not cover against Purdue in the big drum inside that stadium, I don't know.
The noise is gonna be loud.
Yeah, dude, they'll be making a change sooner than later.
All right, I'm just gonna go through some other scores. Texas trounces Michigan. Michigan is dead. Absolutely dead.
Good.
Penn State, much closer than you want against Bowling Green, but they
MAC
still
schools, dude. Can't play against the MAC schools are tough, but Penn State fucking found a way.
Dude, MAC's a tough conference. Those boys play hard. Can't say the same for the Irish.
If Notre Dame could have just squeaked, I was texting you guys and I was like, dude, like this is a game in the third quarter. I was like, you just have to find a way to win. It doesn't matter if it's 14-13 or 100-0. Like you just have to come out of that game 2-0, and they could not fucking do it.
Oklahoma State a little closer than they like. They take care of business. Kansas State, they get the win. Syracuse beats Georgia Tech. I don't think that was much of a
orange. They were underdogs.
They were underdogs, but like Georgia Tech should not have been ranked at that point.
Kyle McCord can sling it, dude.
Dog.
He just wasn't in the right place at Ohio State. I think that was a classic. Like guy needs a change of scenery.
I think too, it's one of those things where like there's so much when you're the Ohio State quarterback, just like if you're the Michigan quarterback or the Notre Dame quarterback or anything like that, like you are under the microscope. Like Kyle McCord, like he could go out there and have a shit day in 5 days in Syracuse, but if they make a bowl game, like who cares?
Yeah. Georgia does what they do. Utah gets the win over Baylor. Iowa State upsets Iowa. That's always fun to see. Louisville.
USF played an unbelievable 3.5 quarters of football.
That game was a lot closer than 42-16.
Yeah, it was 21-16 with 5 minutes to go, and the wheels just came off.
Yeah. Honestly, like kind of like their matchup last year a little bit.
Yeah. Except for they've been progressing. Last year, it was the first half. This year, it was 3 quarters. Next year, or whatever they play next, it's a full W.
Yeah.
Let me just say it's a real W because whoever runs the USF Barstool account was absolutely flaming.
They're killing it.
All I see, like if I took a screen share or like screen recorded my phone, it would have been like 25 straight USF like related tweets of them just absolutely growing Bama.
That guy's got a lot of time on his hands though, and I give him props.
He's a college DJ. So
Alex Golish. I could see you in blue and gold.
All right, Ole Miss, they win handily. Missouri, same thing. Kansas gets upset by Illinois. Ohio State does what they need to do. Tennessee routes NC State. Like I said, NC State probably not what we thought they were. Going down, Oklahoma wins a close one. The Oregon-Boise State game was fantastic. That felt like Pac-12 after dark there.
Dude, Oregon is just in a weird spot. Like
2 straight games like that where you're in a tight game against a team that you should probably take care of pretty easily is not a good look, especially when you have the Heisman favorite at quarterback.
Dude, but he's been awful. Like he's been like his stats have been good, but it's like Bo Nix was putting up like 60 on all these teams, like
Yeah. All right. If nobody else has anything to say about college football, I mean, I'm good. I think I just kind of wanted to run through and maybe give a little 2 cents on everything. But
we'll check back next week. I could have a lot more to say.
yeah, we'll have more time going forward, hopefully. But for me personally, I love all football in all forms. But when the NFL is back, like everything just feels right. I feel at peace. And Thursday, we finally got our first taste of it. And absolutely amazing game, I should say, as well. And I definitely did not fall asleep and miss the final play of the game. I just want to put that on record. I did not do that. I was not laying in bed, and I did not fall asleep on the commercial break before the final 2 plays and wake up still in a commercial break thinking the game was still going on and then get a text on my phone that said, wow, what a tough way to lose. And I definitely was not really mad that I missed the end of that game because I saw it. I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't there. I can't confirm or deny.
It didn't happen.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, if I had fallen asleep and missed the last play, I would have been really upset about it. But thank God I didn't.
Thank God.
I just want to say, and like, I guess this is going to be a theme for like this podcast. Lamar Jackson just proves why he can't win a Super Bowl because he cannot make a wide open pass. He said that the second to last play that Sean definitely watched. He said the ball was supposed to go to Bateman and it flew 5 feet to the right of Zay Flowers. And Bateman was on the left side of Flowers. Like, that is terrible. That makes the throw even worse.
Naked in the end zone.
He split the uprights in between both of the players on the field.
Yeah.
Like, terrible. Like, you cannot win the Super Bowl if you cannot hit a guy in the chest with nobody around.
Yeah, but I mean, with that being said, like these are still definitely going to be 2 of the premier teams in the AFC. Like, wouldn't be overly surprised if we see a AFC Championship rematch.
Oh, for sure. And
Because you could, like, the Chiefs have reached that status now that the Patriots had during that dynasty, where you can pretty much pencil them in for the conference championship game every year, barring like a freak injury to Mahomes or like Andy Reid eats too many cheeseburgers and has to go to the hospital and they hand over head coaching duties to like Matt Nagy.
Marcus Freeman.
I hope Andrews gets back into that offense and hopefully they can use him unlikely.
Dude, my thing is like if you're gonna come out in 12, dude, the amount of like playmakers now I feel like the Ravens have on the outside, like are you really missing like that much? Like I love Mark Andrews. I think he's like a good tight end. I don't think he's not great anymore because of the injuries that have been unfortunate, but it's like Isaiah Likely's got some juice.
He's a stud, dude. An absolute stud. He's fun to watch too. I felt like last year he kind of like burst onto the scene a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, oh, here's a name that like we keep hearing pop up, but I don't think anybody could have predicted him to, come out and start the season as strong as he did.
Not at all. And I mean, I also just want to point out this. The first 3 plays of the game, they called flags on the Ravens left tackle. They did not. They called maybe 1 on the Chiefs offensive line for lining up, not like on the line of scrimmage. But yet they were doing the exact same thing. Like the way the refs are just, covering their eyes, turning a blind eye for the Chiefs. Like everybody sees it.
Yeah, what was their go-to
It's,
flag there? Was it illegal formation or illegal shift or something?
They're just I can't remember the term, but they're just not lining up on the line of scrimmage. Like their head has to be like on the waistline of the center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Center is the line of scrimmage.
yeah. So and I can't remember who the Chiefs right tackle is for the life of me, but he does it all the damn time. Like
Juwan Taylor.
Yeah, it's Juwan Taylor because I was gonna say Orlando Brown. I was like, I know it's not Orlando. So I mean, yeah, Juwan Taylor is the biggest. Like, does it 17 times a drive and never gets called. Like
yeah, he's got a little Lane Johnson to him.
No, Lane Johnson does it to perfection.
Yeah, you kind of walked into that one.
No, I know it was coming, but Lane Johnson does it to perfection.
Yeah,
So,
Lane Johnson does it right because he's wearing green.
Yeah. And if we want to roll into the Eagles, because I got a lot of things to say about that fucking game.
But real quick, let's just wrap up this game here. Derrick Henry, he's definitely is not the Derrick Henry of old, but his fall off is a lot less steep than a lot of running backs his age, which I understand he's a big guy, but he also takes a lot of hits. So for me, that's kind of encouraging to see. Like if I was a Ravens fan, to see that he's still able to, show flashes of himself and kind of be what he needs to be in that offense. Because I think we were saying on the last pod, like we were talking about his fall off.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I brought up that he doesn't have to be, the Derrick Henry of old. He just needs to find his fit there and just be a ground and pound guy that can get north and south when you have the threat of Lamar Jackson, who's so east and west and shifty there. So that's definitely good for them. And seeing, Mahomes had 291 passing yards. What was that? Second highest passing yardage this week? Behind Tua, probably.
How much do you have?
He had 291. I know Hurts finished with like 279.
What about
Baker had
Carr?
like 285 or something like that.
I think
about
Tua was
Derek
the
Carr?
only quarterback over 300. And that just kind of brings me to a real quick point I want to make before we get into the rest of these games. I think we were spoiled in the era of quarterback play that we came up in.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you had Breeze, Brady, either of the Mannings, Rodgers. I'm
Luck.
probably missing a few here. Like Mahomes as of late. You had guys who
Roethlisberger.
could, what's up?
Roethlisberger, definitely. You got to put him in there.
Rivers.
Yeah, but like, especially those top guys that I named, like they could go off for 5,000 yards any given year.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Jameis.
yeah,
Okay, let's stop.
5,100.
I think we're kind of past that, and I don't think quarterback play necessarily is taking the dive that people think it is. It's not up to par with what it was, but also I think the game has changed so much where you don't want pure pocket passers really anymore. I was thinking about it last night. Like, who do you have in there that's still a pure pocket passer? You have Goff, you have Stafford, who played last night. Who else is out there right now?
Tua.
Yeah, but Tua's got some legs if he needs to move. He just, I think, is a little afraid to run.
No, dude. I think Tua falls very much into the pocket.
Drake
Tua's
May will be on
probably
here.
as fast as Jared Goff.
Like Joe Burrow's a pocket passer. Jordan Love is a pocket passer who can make plays with his legs.
Sam Darnold.
Nah, Sam Darnold's got speed.
Yeah, but I'm thinking
Purdy.
about the guys like when you think about the top quarterbacks in the league. I'm
Brock Purdy.
saying out of those guys, but Purdy can move too. Like that's the
Dude,
thing.
everyone could move, but it's like
Dude.
they don't.
Peyton Manning could not move.
He's still, dude. Tom Brady
Oh,
had like
dude.
a 13-yard rush one time for the Bucks in the Bucks Giants Monday night game.
One time, that's
Oh,
what
you
you're
got to turn that
referencing?
mic on, brother.
You all hear me?
Yeah.
Damn, that's fucked up. I was just talking for like the past 5 minutes. Glad to join the pod finally.
He's like, why is nobody acknowledging my
I was gonna
comment?
say,
Yeah.
awfully
I'm like,
bad.
damn, I'm just exiled from the pod today.
You must be tired.
Shit, man. What was I gonna say? Yeah, Aaron. I don't think just because Brady had that one run, I don't.
Well, I'm
think-
saying like, dude, he was low key running at the end of his career.
He wasn't
Yeah,
running
because the
fast enough
O-line
to
was
catch that
so
ball in the
bad,
Super
bro.
Bowl.
Dude, that it's actually crazy how much a good center makes a difference on a football field.
Yeah.
The tush push, that's like segue into the Eagles game. It's not what it was. And it's
It's not
literally
what it
only
was, but it
because
was still working.
well, but it's like one guy made it literally like 99.9% chance it was gonna work.
It was such a focal point of it too. Like, you take out the right guard there, you might take a little bit of a lapse, but when you take out the center who's really kind of driving that point of attack there, then yeah, that's tough.
Is this our segue into the Eagles game? Because I'm ready to pull
Yeah,
an
go.
arrow. I'm ready
Go.
to pull an arrow. First of all, let's start off with the positives. Saquon Barkley. Oh my God. I could not have asked for anything better. Had to change my pants a few times. So that was pretty good. Mekhi Becton, I want to give a shout out. Like 0 pressures, like 0 sacks allowed, everything. Perfect game. Stat on you, baby. A 6'8", 300-something pounds right guard, working out very well. Zach Bond, 15 tackles, 2 sacks. You know, Vic Fangio, he's found his guy. And, I think also Mitchell played, he had some, some mess ups here and there, but that comes with being a rookie, but he played well as well. Let's get into it now. Jalen Hurts. Oh my God, Jalen Hurts. Okay, I'll blame the fumble. The fumble is his fault. The first pick was a terrible throw that was going to get picked off 10 times
The
out of 10
fumble was Jalen Hurts' fault.
on the sneak.
Oh,
On the sneak. On the sneak. On the sneak. It was the center's fault. It was Jurgen's fault during the shotgun on the second drive. But the one in the end zone to AJ Brown, you can just draw a triangle around the 3 defenders. Like those 2 picks were picks 100% of the time. Like, there's no reason he should throw that. He needs to be better about that. But also, like, that game kind of went, like, obviously there's more, like, it was way higher scoring than I thought, but it kind of went as I expected. Like, terrible field. So you never really knew what was going on. Nobody had their footing. You could see, like, anytime a big play happened, because somebody in the secondary just fell over and they couldn't run and, like, catch up. So, like, that's why, like, Reed had a touchdown, Brown had a touchdown. Like, all those big plays were, like, contributed to
The field.
like the footing, and like you could see everybody slipping. And honestly, I thought Josh Jacobs, if I looked at the stat sheet, I thought Josh Jacobs would have ran for 200 yards against us. Like, we couldn't stop.
he was busting run after run in that second half.
Yeah. So, I mean, I need to see something from Nolan Smith. I need to see something from Bryce Huff getting around the edges. I think the Packers did a great job of containing Jalen Hurts. It's time for Jalen. I think about it like this way. In the beginning of Russ's career, he was running around a lot. And then, like, year 3 or 4, he kind of started to, like, transition into pocket passer and run when I have to. That's what Jalen needs to start doing. Because every time we did an option play, it did not work. Tackle behind the line of scrimmage. It just did not work. Like, that cannot be our offense anymore.
Yeah,
But
obviously, I mean, Saquon Barkley was awesome. He looks to be taking over that, like, CMC role that we saw him do when he went over to San Francisco. Let's just hope he gets on the same track with the injuries. I mean, obviously McCaffrey's missing this game right now, but if he can be not taking the hits in the backfield as much as he was in New York, and he's got a lot of gaps that he can hit now with an actual NFL caliber offensive line. He looked phenomenal. Jaden Reed was really good for the Packers, whether you want to blame that on the turf or not. I mean, I'm sure that had a little bit to do with it, but also I can think you can attribute some of the wide open guys running downfield to 2 new defensive coordinators for either of these squads. I know Vic Fangio is a guy who's been around the league forever, but still there can be a little bit of, blurred lines there between him and the defensive players who are hearing a new voice now and kind of learning a little bit of a new system. As far as other guys who played well for the Eagles, and I'll get into the Packers a little bit. I mean, AJ Brown is still AJ Brown, Devontae Smith still Devontae Smith. Dallas Goedert, this is kind of the ebbs and flows of an Eagles offense. When you have this many weapons, not everybody can have a great game at the same time. You had Smith, Barkley, and Brown all have phenomenal games. It's going to be kind of hard to have enough plays to be able to get Dallas Goedert going. He made some big catches, converted a big third down when you needed him to. So that was good to see, but Hurts, I would like him to stop playing that hero ball, because I think that was the issue with his 2 interceptions. They were hero ball plays. And the first one on 3rd and 15, just not good to put your defense in that position after they go out and they get a stop to start the game. You're in 3rd and 15. I was listening to Belichick on McAfee today talking about how Brady limited his mistakes and limited those plays. 3rd and 15 there, you throw that ball. Your best case scenario is an incomplete pass and you're punting on 4th and 15 deep in your own end zone. But play the field position there. Don't let the Packers set up on your side of the field. Thankfully, the defense held strong. Kind of that Vic Fangio bend don't break. They get very good as you get towards the red zone, which I'll get into in a second. But, other than Hurts trying to make some plays that weren't there. Like Jack, I agree with you on the AJ Brown pick. A lot of people are blaming the field on that. I just don't think that's a play that Hurts needs to make in the slightest. He was pretty good though for the rest of the game. I was very happy with the way he was able to pick up the blitz. I think he was 6 of 8 for 91 yards and a touchdown. I don't know if his second touchdown was against the blitz, but either way, it looked a lot better than last year. The offense looks a lot more like it should with the way Kellen Moore is doing things. I love the implementation of the motion and a lot more snaps coming from under center. I think it's in a good place. I think as long as Jalen, can kind of get in his head and realize that sometimes it's better to take the no gain than to potentially turn the ball over like that. Because he also that pass to Jahan Dotson could very easily have been picked off in the second half. So limit those plays. But other than that, I was happy with the way he played. As far as the Packers, I touched on Jaden Reed. Jair Alexander's getting a lot of crap for, the stat line that AJ Brown put up. I thought Jair Alexander didn't have that bad of a game. It's just AJ Brown is one of those players who you can't stop. You can only really hope to contain. Thought the Eagles' offensive line looked good. I do have worries about the edge rush and just the pass rush as a whole, kind of like you were saying. But that's one thing that I will kind of, let slide a little bit considering how the field was, just because that when, particularly on the edge, when you're trying to plant and catch a guy, that can be tough. So I think next week's game will be very telling how they're going to look for the rest of the season. But yeah, I mean, this game really went back and forth, kind of, I feel like how a lot of people thought it would go. And it was good to see competence on both sides of the ball from the Eagles, which, we didn't see for the last month and a half of last season.
Yeah,
and the Packers are still going to be a very good team. So,
and one more thing. I wanted to point out what you said about the blitz and with Hurts. He finished with not including the Monday Night Football game, he finished with the highest passer rating versus the blitz this week. And, shout out my boy, Reed Blankenship with the pick, coming up clutch.
He loves playing the Packers.
Yeah, he loves it.
Either of you guys want to jut in on this game or you want to move on?
I was at a concert. I didn't get to watch it.
I'll say just a few quick.
How was the
things before we
concert?
move on.
It was good. I went to Darius Rucker.
Oh, you're a little low there, brother.
Black and Wheel. Don't worry, I'm gonna figure out this mic before this podcast is
There you go,
over.
you got it.
Yeah, I went and saw Hootie and the Blowfish.
Hootie.
Yep, it was a good
Solid.
time. Good time. So I'll take your guys' word for it.
I have a few quick things. One, I'm gonna start by saying, it's tough to put a full judge on this game based on the field condition issue. So I think there's definitely a little bit of a pass on what I'm gonna say there. I would say if I'm being critical, you Philly boys, there's two things that I was concerned about at the end of last year that I didn't necessarily get the answers to my concerns from week one. Granted, it is week one, so I think they're going to get better. Number one was some questionable decision-making by Jalen Hurts, which you guys already talked about. Towards the end of last year, I think he struggled with that in certain spots. Not overall, but I think in certain spots he struggled with that. So that's just one thing to keep an eye on. You guys already touched on it, so I won't go in any more depth with that. But I didn't really necessarily get the answers I was looking for, even though I do think he played pretty well given the circumstances. And number two for me is tackling, especially from your secondary. I still think that was an issue. Once again, I know the field thing is totally a valid. It was a mess. It was disgusting. So I'm giving them somewhat of a pass on that. But obviously, I think you guys would say that's fair based off of how you ended the season last year or even throughout the entirety of the season last year. So I'm still curious to see what that's going to look like and shape up to be as you kind of go forward here. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about that, but I thought Jordan Love, you said it. He was all right at best. Glad to hear it's nothing serious there. 3 to 4 weeks. I'm still a little bit shaky about what I think the Packers are going to be. I thought coming into the season they were a little overhyped. I still think they're going to be, with Jordan Love out now, maybe an 8 or 9 win team max at this point. So I think, and we saw, we'll get to the Bears, but I think honestly, I wasn't really impressed with the Packers as well. But and Saquon's a dog. I think he's going to have an incredible comeback year. I think the CMC comparison you made, Mahoney, I think it was, is fair. I think it's going to be a perfect fit. Kellen Moore is probably going to be the pickup of the year from a staff standpoint. So I'm high right now on the Eagles. I still just have those two things that I want to see answered.
I agree with you. Like I said it during the game, whole lot of arm tackling. And then I would say Kellen Moore would be the number 2 staff pickup. Dave Canales number 1.
Liam Cohen could end up being the number 1 staff pickup.
Yeah, it'll definitely, in terms of the Packers going forward, it'll just be how much can they weather the storm until Love gets back. And then it also sucks because by the time he comes back, it's going to be midseason. He's not had the time to settle in and really find an identity with this offense yet. So we'll see how that goes for them. But on to the Sunday slate. First game I've got up here, Pittsburgh at Atlanta. This
Just
was a
comedy.
snooze fest.
Comedy, dude. Everyone talks about the Falcons, about how they were just a shoo-in to win the NFC South.
I was feeling good about the Falcons. I'll take that one on the chest.
Look, it's
a long
Kirk-
season, but
It is a long season. These are the classic week 1 overreactions right now. I should have prefaced that earlier, but that's just how this is going to go. A lot of what we're going to say here, we're going to look like idiots in probably 2.5 months.
Yep. I mean, look, I still Kirk Cousins is what he is at this point. Like I don't know what people expect. Plus, he's coming off of a major injury last year. Like the guy bails out of throws, especially now. I was watching the entirety of that game. He's bailing out of every throw when pressure's coming in his up his grill, which I don't blame him for. Granted, I still think that he's not the answer to the ultimate question for that team. Kyle Pitts, I mean, he had a touchdown yesterday, which was wide open, which he was open for about 10 seconds in the end zone before Kirk decided to throw him the ball. I don't know. Like, I want him to be good. He should be good. But, like, if he doesn't have a big year this year, I'm out on Kyle Pitts. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, people said he was.
You're 5.
Yeah, like people said it was, he didn't have a quarterback. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Like the coach, blah, blah. Like if he doesn't have a big year this year, I'm out on him. I just didn't see anything week 1. The Falcons, I still don't get why people are so high on them. I think they're all right. That's what I thought.
Yeah, Chris Boswell MVP here. I mean, the Steelers offense, I know a lot of fans were sick of Matt Canada and he got fired mid last year. And then it was like, oh, well, we still have Kenny Pickett. We still don't have a reliable quarterback. You still don't have a reliable quarterback now. George Pickens he's a pretty solid receiver. He's probably could find his way into the top 15 by the end of the year, depending on how things shake out. Najee Harris,
he's also good for 1 personal foul a game.
Yeah. You're still waiting for Najee to blossom into what we all think he can be, but that might be a Kyle Pitts situation that we're looking at. Yeah,
I think
Najee's 26, man. I mean,
Najee is what he is.
Yeah,
he's in year 4. It ain't happening. He had 1,200 yards year 1. It's just downhill. It's just down. It's a Zeke Elliott situation.
He doesn't run hard.
He's a slow running back. Like he is slow,
and like I said, like he runs so upright. Like you think he's a receiver when you see him out in the open field. Like this, like tight end, H-back is what he is. He just he hits the hole sometimes. Other times he just get I think watching the Steelers run the football too. I think it's a jersey thing where it looks like it's if it doesn't look good, it looks really ugly. I mean, the Steelers offense, granted, makes it look ugly, but I don't know if that's just a me thing, but watching the Steelers play, it just makes you think of 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
You know what else is ugly is the Guardian cap the right guard was wearing.
I didn't watch that game.
One of the first things I noticed.
I saw I just watched some of the highlights at the end of the game and whatnot, but it's when you see the Steelers run the ball, it's just something, I don't know if it's all the black, just all all white. But it's just one of those things where it's doesn't look smooth.
I do agree with that though. It just feels like a jumble.
Yeah, it's just a lot of it's a.
I know what you mean.
What was the movie in the prison?
Longest Yard.
Yeah, The Longest Yard. Yeah, it looks like that.
Yeah. My last thing on this game for the Falcons, at least, is we talked. I just brought up week 1 overreactions. It is not a overreaction, though, that if you lose a game to a team that only scores on field goals, you are not a good football team.
And
That
also,
is one thing I know for sure.
looking forward, they got Chiefs, Eagles next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You start out in the hole 0-3, like
Can I say this? If no one's gonna say it, I'll say it. Justin Fields, wasn't a great game. He did what he needed to do in like the short time where he figured out he was starting. Didn't turn the ball over, had some good rushes, ran for a lot, made a few good throws. The main thing is he didn't turn the ball over, and as you said, Arrow, it was enough to beat a shitty team.
I mean, in terms of this week's quarterback play, he was middle of the pack.
Yeah, he might be sitting at like number 20 out of 32.
it's one of those things where it's just like if you just don't do something to hurt your team, like Caleb Williams, prime example. Did he play like ass? Yes.
Yes.
Did he
But no
do anything?
turnovers.
Did he do anything to make his team lose? No.
Yeah.
I mean, other than score points, but he didn't do that. But he didn't negatively affect the game.
All right. On to good quarterback play. Buffalo, Arizona. Bills get the win. I feel like a lot of people thought this would be a game they could drop. I think people have Arizona kind of as like a frisky team this year, which like maybe they showed a little bit of that this week, but I still don't entirely see it with them. I know they ended last year pretty well once Kyler came back, but I don't know. I think Buffalo still has a chance to be pretty good. I think Josh Allen is still that dude, and he was able to prove that he can still survive without Stephon Diggs, which is kind of what I think most level-headed people thought. Like why are you leaning back? He had a good game.
Dude. You gotta take the Bills blinders off for this one. Dude, they struggled.
Yeah, they
heavy
struggled
against the Cardinals.
I just said people like the Cardinals as a frisky team this year.
Yeah,
Okay.
their win total is like 4.5.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's frisky.
I said the Cardinals were going to finish last in their division, but they were going to beat the Bills, and they almost did, and they probably should have. And I'll tell you this, both teams are not good teams because, and I'll tell you this, Devontae Adams will end up on the Bills at some point, either by the trade deadline this year or by the offseason. That's the only way the Bills become a good football team again, getting Allen a real number 1 receiver. I mean, like, as we said before, when we're talking about where they're going to end up, the Bills' linebacking core is shit.
They're secondary.
Absolute shit. Secondary shit. So if they're giving up 34 points to the Cardinals, or
28
28 points to the Cardinals, like they ain't when they play the Jets, and if the Jets are looking good, and the Dolphins, they're giving up 35-40.
Two things to that. One, I don't think the Bills are a wide receiver 1 away from being able to like get back to where they want to be. And 2, they did give up a kick return. So the defense only gave up 21. You put 1 on special teams. You put a touchdown on special teams.
Yeah, but then I mean,
but their defense is not good.
Yeah, not Super Bowl level, but like playoff level.
Like they're not winning the division.
Yeah, they're not winning the division. Like they need a wide receiver 1 to
Also,
win the division.
like Josh Allen is fucking Superman, but like, how long is he going to be able to take that punishment? Like, especially when the team is going to be bad this year or like not necessarily as good as they've been. That dude takes so many hits over the course of a game. I still can't believe that he doesn't know how to slide all these years later. Like, he just refuses to do it. He's like, no, fuck it. I'm not going to slide. I'm going to hurdle 3 guys, flip in the air, do a somersault when I land, and hope I don't land on my neck. I'm like, he's a bulldozer, and he's a beast. Like, I love watching him play. But if I'm Sean McDermott, I'm like grimacing every time he leaves the pocket. Every single time.
I agree.
Pull up the slip and
In a
slide.
year like this, save your body.
Yes. Like, get down.
Pull out the slip and slide. Get the hose. Let's go.
You have
Deion
the
Coleman
roster
had a good game.
playoffs. You do not have a Super Bowl roster. You do not need to take these hits.
No.
Dude, it's like, are they a playoff team? I don't know.
As long as you have Josh Allen, you have a chance to make the playoffs.
I
Yeah,
still think so.
chance,
I still have faith that they can win this division. And I know I'm the black sheep on this
Just
podcast,
tell the pod your girlfriend is a Bills fan, dude. Just
No,
tell us.
but I do. I've always been kind of partial to the Bills, and I'm going to remain that way because I think Josh Allen is a top 3 quarterback in the league, and I think that anytime you have a talent like that, you have a chance.
Josh Allen is like Whole Foods Jameis Winston.
The white version.
No, he's just better. I mean, yes, but he also just like he's better. He is a better version of Jameis Winston.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no shit, dude.
No, I'm saying like
That's
the way
not a fucking
the way
compliment.
What the hell
the
is
way-
this take?
dude, the way they play the game is actually like identical, except Josh Allen just can move.
Yo, breaking news: Josh Allen is better than Jameis Winston.
I'm just talking about the way they play the game, dude. They play very similar games of football.
I don't know about that, dude. When Josh Allen throws the ball, it looks a lot prettier.
Dude, that is I don't think that.
And it's also like
Hey, take the
Josh
Bucks
Allen
blinders
is
off.
turnover prone,
He's been
but,
gone for a
and
while now. He's been gone.
Dude, he's a good talent.
Yeah,
when
maybe
Josh
compare it
Allen
to
throws the
Deshaun.
ball, like he has a lot of turnovers in his career. I don't expect the ball to end up in the defender's hands. When Jameis Winston throws the ball, you really hold your breath.
You're sleeping on the 14-4 until he broke his back in New Orleans.
I'm just thinking on the 30-30.
Yeah, well, that was in 2019. So,
It still happened.
yeah, Josh
Maybe
Allen
started
also
a full
has
season.
led the league in turnovers since he got in the NFL.
I can read street signs now. I got LASIK.
And I love Jameis. This is not Jameis.
I think Josh Allen is a great quarterback, but I do not think he's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL.
No
Where do you
shot.
put him?
Probably top 7,
Really?
probably.
All right.
You
So
think
this is-
outside
this
the
is
top
kind of-
5.
Yes,
Mahomes, Lamar,
Burrow.
Burrow. Oh, Burrow.
I
After
take
that,
Burrow.
okay,
They turned the ball over at the fucking goal line.
yeah.
They just didn't know who his receivers are going to be this week because one of them is money hungry, and then T. Higgins was eating like Skyline chili the night before the game.
Would you take? This is a terrible question to ask a Bucks fan. Would you take Baker over Allen right now?
Yes,
Dude.
That's insane. That's insane.
But that's why I asked it. 'Cause I know he was gonna say yes.
I'm saying partial. No, like objectively, no.
This is getting me onto a take. Like, I don't even know if this is a take. But I was thinking about this before we started the show. Discourse on NFL quarterbacks is so far gone
Stroud
right now
better than Josh Allen.
Would you
because
take Hurts?
here's what's happening, and I'm not.
Hurts is probably right around that same spot as Josh Allen. I would take Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen.
Flip that. Flip that.
Here,
Yes.
listen. I'm not addressing like either of those takes. Not that because I don't want to, just because I really need to get this off my chest. We are in such a bad spot with quarterback discourse in the NFL right now. Did I say quarterback play is down from what we grew up with earlier on the show? Yes, and I still believe that. But we have guys who come into the league now and they put up some good numbers and some good winning years when they're young. Joe Burrow going to the Super Bowl his first year as a full-time starter. Jalen Hurts going to the Super Bowl his second year as a full-time starter. Patrick Mahomes bursts on the scene, throws 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. CJ Stroud comes out, has a phenomenal rookie year, one of the best rookie years we've ever seen from a quarterback. But the way that we flip on these guys so quickly while they're still so young. Everybody loved Justin Herbert 2-3 years ago. He's not winning right now. Now it's Justin Herbert's ass, this, that, the other thing. Joe
Who's
Burrow
saying
comes
that?
out.
No one is saying that.
Dude,
Nobody is
so many
saying
people
that.
are off Justin Herbert right now. It's insane.
Dude, everyone's going, yo, Harbaugh's back there. They got this.
Nobody said they got this.
They got this.
I think
I'm
people
saying they got
that
this.
are talking about the Chargers are saying, "Hey, Justin Herbert literally gets an excuse for Justin Herbert could go out there and throw
Yeah.
6 interceptions. People will be like, he's still really good."
See, but
Herbert and Allen are in the
thing,
same spot. They both
There's
lost
such
to
an
two receivers.
anti-crowd to that right now. And I wasn't going to stop at Justin Herbert. Joe Burrow, after a bad game yesterday and after last year's season, people are calling him a weapons merchant, saying that for Jalen Hurts, saying this for Brock Purdy. It's like newsflash. If your name's not Patrick Mahomes, you need a supporting cast. That's just how the league
Do
works.
you think Brock Purdy's a good quarterback?
I think Brock Purdy is a serviceable quarterback. I don't
Flip
think
it.
he's bad.
Flip it. We can literally turn back on the Lodge Pod episodes from February and January, and you'd be singing another chant.
No, this is me turning over a new leaf because I'm so sick of this discourse. It has gotten so insane. Do I think Brock Purdy could go to another team and do what he's doing? Absolutely not. I think he's in the perfect spot. Even if you put him on the Eagles right now, I don't even think he's as good as he is. But what I'm saying is, like, the way that we are turning on young quarterbacks now, how quickly until it happens to CJ Stroud?
Josh Allen is 28 years old.
That is not old for a quarterback. We have guys
For a
Matt
guy
Stafford-
that plays the way he does, he is what he is.
Look at
he's
how
not
many injuries Matt
getting
Stafford's
better.
had in his career. He's 36. He takes
Matt
massive
Stafford,
hits.
yes, he's a pocket passer. He's not going to run and just try and truck somebody over.
Have you seen his injury history? Do you see the way that he just stands in the pocket and gets murdered every play? He got hurt in like the first quarter last night.
You're forgetting that he played for the Detroit Lions that were like 9-7 at best when he was there.
And he was getting murdered.
Yes, because the team wasn't good.
But this is not you.
His best
This
player
is not what we were just talking
retired.
about. You brought up
His
Josh
best-
Allen's age and the way that he
Yeah,
takes
he's-
hits,
Yes,
and to allude to the fact that he is not going to have a sustainable career. And I'm using Matt Stafford as an example of a guy who has taken a bunch of hits, had a bunch of injuries throughout his career, and is playing football at
and
a high
look
level.
at their
at
play
36
styles.
years old.
They're completely different people, so you can't do that. They're not running quarterback power with Matt Stafford. Newsflash.
Dude, that's not. Oh my God, you're entirely looking. You're not addressing anything that I'm saying about the hits that he took.
You could take hits, yes, and be fine. You cannot take hit after hit after hit, game after game after game after game.
You can't. And Matt Stafford has had extreme injury in his past. What are you saying right now?
What am I saying? Look at the way Josh Allen runs the ball, dude.
I agree that it's not the most sustainable practice,
Oh,
I
sorry.
don't think-
Yes, thank you. That's what I'm saying.
but I don't think that what Matt Stafford did was sustainable, and he's playing at 36.
Because what did he do that was unsustainable? Play for the Detroit Lions? Yeah, that's not sustainable.
Dude,
Look at
watch him
fucking-
play football and watch the way that he just stands in the pocket very late into that count and just gets railed every time.
That is what you have to do as a quarterback.
But nobody does it like Matt Stafford, dude. And look at his injury history. And he's playing at 36. That's the last thing I'm going to fucking say about it.
I don't understand. You're saying because he stands in the pocket to make a throw late and gets
And
hit?
he gets drilled, dude, like way more than any other quarterback I've seen who stands.
Dude, bring up last night, dude. They were on their third string left tackle.
That-
Both of their tackles were not playing.
That has nothing to do with him taking the hits. I'm not saying like I'm shitting on his play style or anything. I'm just saying he's taken a lot of hits.
That
He's
most
taken a
certainly
lot-
does have to do with how many hits he's taking, though.
What? Yeah,
I-
of course it does. That's not what I'm arguing.
At this point, I don't know what
I
you're
don't
arguing.
understand what you're saying. I don't understand this Matt Stafford and Josh Allen comparison. I'm
The
saying
The
Josh
comparison-
Allen is not going to have a long career because he takes hits every game because they put him in harm's way and he does not take advantage of sliding.
I agree with that. And I'm saying Matt Stafford does not get put in harm's way, but he hangs onto the ball late in count in the pocket and gets drilled. And he's still playing at 36. These are all hits that add up. Matt Stafford has a lengthy injury history.
Okay.
That is what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the drop off doesn't have to be there just because the guy takes hits. I'm not going to write Josh Allen off in the next 4 years just because of the way he plays. If
I'm not dropping him
I will.
in a major injury. You are for sure writing Josh Allen off. Who is more
This
likely
all
to tear their
started- This all
ACL?
started because I said we switch up on young quarterbacks quickly, and you just randomly said Josh Allen is 28, and I said that's not
He's-
old.
I mean, for the way he plays football, that is old.
And did you see a drop off the other day? No.
Not yet. Did I think he played great? No.
He was 18 for 23 with 232 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal day.
I just don't see it, dude, with the Bills. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this.
I'm not
pulls at
sitting
your
here
heartstrings.
defending the Bills. This was not about the Bills, and you brought up Josh Allen, and then I used Matt Stafford as a comparison. Let's get back on track. Wait, you didn't. You cut me off as I was asking the question that I was trying to get to with that whole rant about quarterback discourse, and that's how long will it take before people start to switch up on CJ Stroud? We've seen it happen with Joe Burrow. We've seen it happen with Jalen Hurts.
I'd have to see CJ Stroud play bad. CJ Stroud is a pocket passer. He can get out of the pocket, but he is not going to – we're not running QB power or read option with CJ Stroud.
Listen.
CJ Stroud finds his guys. He might stand in the pocket a long time too, just like Matt Stafford. We have to see CJ Stroud play a bad season of football, just like we saw Jalen Hurts play a bad season of football.
Okay, Jalen Hurts was leading MVP voting after week 11. He didn't have a bad season. He had a bad 6-game stretch. What did Joe Burrow do last year to get what he's getting right now?
Joe Burrow also faced a lot of scrutiny because he got injured very frequently.
But it's not an injury thing. Like, I'm saying, like, people are giving him shit for, like, not having won a Super Bowl at this point with his weapons.
What do you think, Owen?
I think, listen, I think both of you have different facets of what you're saying is right. Josh Allen cannot sustain this level of hits that he's taking. That's 100% a fact. 100% a fact. Do I think that he's old at 28 in this league? No. I also disagree with your take that Josh Allen is on the outside looking in on the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. I think Josh Allen is absolutely one of those guys that if he's on your team, you have a chance every single year to be not a contender, but in the playoffs. And I also agree with Mahoney's point that Matt Stafford got the shit beat out of him for like the better part of a decade. I do think that like
that's typically what happens to you when you play on.
No, I know what you're saying here, and
You keep bringing that up. That is not the point of it.
What I'm saying is, and I'm not taking sides here. I'm just saying Mahoney is drawing a comparison between apples and apples, being two guys that got fucking hit. Yes, I think it looks different on the screen, like the hits.
It feels different too when you're standing in there getting hit versus when you're.
Yeah, but a torn ACL is a torn ACL, or a busted knee is a busted knee, or like whatever injury you want to use is still an injury. I think that's what Mahoney's saying. Am I right there, Mahoney, or am I misconstruing your words?
No, you're seeing it exactly the way it is. The hits are still the hits. It doesn't matter which way.
You're not taking as many hits as you would if you are a running quarterback. That is a fact. It doesn't.
I don't know if you watched the game last night. Matt Stafford was getting drilled.
Again, he had both of his tackles out. The Rams' left tackle was on his third.
Taking the hit, dude.
Yes, I understand. Josh Allen's fucking starting tackles are in the game. He's still taking the hits that Matt Stafford is taking.
I'm saying
unsustainable. It is unsustainable.
What do you think, Jack? Oh, thanks for asking. Sean, I'll go back to your point where you're saying, like, when do we turn, or the fans, the audience turns on CJ Stroud?
Thank you. This is what I've been trying to get to for 20 minutes.
I'll put it this way. The NFL and quarterbacks and our reaction to them is a lot like a 50-year-old man or somebody in a midlife crisis. You know, they always go for the younger, newer option. You know, they hype them up like Leonardo DiCaprio, and once they're 25, you go on to the person who's 20 years old. That's just how it is. You know, the media wants to glaze somebody else and bring in all these new storylines. That's just how it is.
Jack, that was phenomenal, and that was exactly what I was lobbing up. Because it feels like the meme of Andy from Toy Story dropping Woody. He's like, I don't want to play with you anymore. So you had a good thing there. Why are you turning on him now? He's still a good player. Just because this young buck is coming in and slinging the rock doesn't mean that Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts or Lamar, who catches a lot of flack, or Josh Allen, any of these other relatively, I'll say that so Arrow doesn't have another conniption, young quarterbacks are getting tossed to the side.
Yeah, I think. But go ahead.
No, you got it.
Okay. I don't want to get you all like fired up here, but like, I think CJ, especially like we I think this is what both you guys are saying. Like we expect as a society, and especially like NFL fans now, that like immediate success needs to be capped off with like a Super Bowl. Like if you're good and if you have a roster around you, you need to win a Super Bowl. And like, granted, we're talking about a different era now, but like a prime example of what one Super Bowl will buy you in terms of a pass for your greater careers is Aaron Rodgers. Like the guy comes into the league, he takes over. Obviously, we know the story, Brett Favre, all that sort of shit. He wins the Super Bowl as a wild card team, right? With like no expectations. They were supposed to lose against Pittsburgh that year in the Super Bowl. He ends up winning Super Bowl MVP. Then since that point, the guy has gone either like 6-6 or 6-7 or whatever it is in the postseason. He's lost twice in the NFC Championship game at home in games he was supposed to win. And he's done, I mean, yes, he has the regular season MVPs, but besides that, he's had no success in terms of like team success and achievement. But we've continued to give him a pass because it's like, oh, he's, you know, he has the Super Bowl, he has the MVPs, he's had all of this sort of success. I think it's like, if you're going to be good early in your career, the only way for you to get past the hump of what you guys are talking about, being replaced with like a newer, flashier version, is you have to win. You can't do a Joe Burrow and get there and fall short, or a Brock Purdy. You have to cement yourself with a win.
I don't necessarily know if I agree with the whole argument. Like, I mean, if your team is a loser, yeah, it makes sense because you keep replenishing. But like, these guys are there for fucking ever. Like, no one was like, oh shit, no one wants Aaron Rodgers because he hasn't won lately. Like, dude, when Aaron Rodgers went on the market, the only thing that had people worried is because he's fucking doing drugs all the damn time. Like, people wanted it. All these teams wanted Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but the Niners
that was exactly Owen's
they were
point.
on so many drugs.
And that wasn't true either. There wasn't like a plentiful market for Aaron Rodgers. There was like 3 teams.
Well, it's like the same thing with Brady, dude. It's just like people don't want the old, like very, very old quarterbacks. It's like you're literally one play away. We saw last year you're one play away. I mean, I think the thing with like, if you're going to go that route at that point, like you almost need to feel like, all right, we are a guarantee. You know, I think that's what the Jets felt. And like, that's what the Bucks felt. That's probably what the Falcons feel. It's like, I mean, I understand from that standpoint, because it's like, what do you think? Like, I mean, the Vikings didn't want to pay Kirk Cousins. Like,
yeah, but what I'm saying though is like,
35.
yeah,
but it's like the same thing. It's like these. I mean, how many quarterbacks have actually been
won a Super Bowl?
But like, how exactly? He had a market. I'm saying like, of these quarterbacks that are actually good, I don't think that there's really like that much like, oh, we don't want to play with you anymore type thing. It's like, yeah, your goal is to win the Super Bowl, but like, I think most fans realize like, hey, you know, like if you got a guy, you got a guy.
Fans of the teams, but I'm saying the overall discourse just gets so. It's just
saturated.
like, yeah, it's just if this guy doesn't get it done this early, like he's I don't know, he's not good. Because you see the media jumps all over guys for bad performances.
But yeah, that's just the nature of the league. Like you only get 17 guaranteed games. It's like if you play like shit one of those weeks, like I think that's what you get. I think,
yeah, but I think like going back to like what we were saying earlier though, like in the previous generation of quarterbacks, there was a substantially longer period of time in which guys got buys. Look at Phillip Rivers, prime example. He didn't do shit. He went to one AFC championship game, I think, in his career. Maybe I'm forgetting another one. And people didn't care. There was always a market for him. People continued to give this guy a pass. He had 17 children. Everybody thought it was awesome. There was no negative discourse ever about Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, there was definitely some negative discourse about the Chargers.
Not to the level at which it's at now, which I think is the entire like conversation we're having right now.
But like I'm just like, give me an example of like who is getting shit on.
Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson,
Jalen Hurts gets shit on just because he's an Eagles player, and the Eagles have the worst fan base in the NFL.
I mean, it's not Eagles.
That is not true.
And I just gave
back right now.
3 others besides
everyone shits on anybody that's a Philadelphia Eagle because it's easy and it's fun.
And I just gave you 3 others besides
Josh Allen.
Good
hasn't won the big game.
And neither has Lamar Jackson.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, I'm saying, but like that's just a fact. Like, but no one's gonna be like,
part of the problem is what I'm realizing.
Josh Allen. I'm not gonna say Josh Allen is
Fellas,
like
take a deep
not
breath.
there. Like, I'm not gonna say like, oh, the Bills should get rid of Josh Allen.
All right, here's the thing. It's the classic scenario of, hey, would you trade, like if you said your team won a Super Bowl this year and sucked for the next 10, and how everybody would take it. That's what it is, taking an old quarterback and just plugging him in. It's like, all right, we know we have like almost a guaranteed shot to win with Brady, like in Tampa, or what Rodgers was supposed to be last year. It's like we are willing to get that Super Bowl and then suck. Like
what I'm trying to say here is I think CJ Stroud is a phenomenal quarterback and a great talent, is going to be in our league for a long time, and everybody loves him right now. But if he doesn't get it done in the next 2, maybe 3 years, then the discourse is going to start to change on him, just as it has with every other quarterback.
People literally still suck Josh Allen's dick to this day. People
family
suck
friendly,
Jalen
family
Hurts.
friendly.
People suck Jalen Hurts to this day. Like,
Obviously, there's people on both sides, but the general discourse online is just hate towards quarterbacks
yes,
who
'cause
haven't
that's
gotten it done
literally
because
the trendy.
Mahomes runs the league and is preventing a lot of other very good quarterbacks from winning it.
That's the trendy thing to do. Like, love doesn't get you clicks online.
That's what
I'm
that's
like,
the point of this whole thing.
yeah. I mean, like, I feel like that's pretty obvious. Like last week, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not listening. Like, oh yeah, let's go. Notre Dame won.
Why are you
Yeah.
rebuttaling me on this when my entire
just saying,
this whole thing was a lead up to a question?
I'm just saying, I think like for most fan bases and just people in the league, it's like we live on overreactions. Like that's the nature of football, because you can't you have to, like, these games, every game is a big game. Like,
We
Okay.
just got to put a bow on it. Yeah, I mean,
I can accept that answer. All right, Tennessee, Chicago. Somebody fucking say something.
Caleb Williams absolutely sucks. But I've said it. He's terrible. He's not going to be good. Will Levis also sucks. The fact that he literally dropped to his knees with his hands on his head,
the picture's so fucking.
dude, like,
By the way,
might have like we thought that Daniel Jones for Sam Darnold was going to be bad. That quarterback matchup might have been the worst of the week. Like
100%. And
No.
somebody said, okay, no.
who's worse?
Bryce Young and Derek Carr.
Derek
Derek
Carr
Carr
had a
threw 4
day.
touchdowns.
Dude, the Panthers. Dude, we need to have
Derek Carr had a good statistical day, though.
I'm gonna say though, we need to have a podcast count for every podcast until Dave Canales gets fired, because it is going to happen this year.
100%. That guy sucks at his job. I want to say one thing about Will Levis. Who was it? Somebody was saying last week, I think it was you, Mahoney, that you would potentially take Will Levis over Anthony Richardson in terms of ceiling on their career. And I think literally yesterday that case is closed. Or whatever. Yeah, yesterday.
You
That
took Mayo
is-
Boy. You took Mayo Boy.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was. I bought into like when Will Levis looked good last year and kind of ignored when he looked bad. And yesterday he looked very bad.
I mean, he's like I get the raw, maybe like arm talent, but fuck, he's bad. His decision making is atrocious.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here though and say Anthony Richardson played good.
He certainly played a lot better than Will Levis. I don't know
mean,
how you look at it from-
He hit 2 passes for 140 yards. Other than that, he went 7 of 17.
and he
Dude,
missed.
it's
He
amazing.
missed another 2 passes that would have been like 60-yard touchdowns by like a combined 4 yards.
But I'm saying, like, he did not throw the ball well.
Okay. If you watch both games yesterday, who are you taking?
Oh,
And-
I'm for sure taking. I agree
Like, I
that
don't
Will
even think
Levis
it's a
is not
conversation.
good.
Yeah,
No, Anthony Richardson is better, but I will say Anthony Richardson did not play very good. In a standpoint that, like, he could not make the throw unless it was he hit 2 bombs.
I still don't think it's a conversation.
I
think
agree. I never said Will Levis was good at football.
yeah,
Okay.
I did, and I feel bad about it.
That's all I was looking for.
I feel like not bad about the take. Like I feel bad for the people who. I think that video had about 2 views. For the 2 people who had to listen to me say that, and for you 3 guys who had to hear me say that, I feel bad and I apologize.
Well, I appreciate your apology. I accept it.
I guess we're rolling right into Houston, Indianapolis.
Did we
Um,
do ball on Tennessee, Chicago? I mean, there's not much to talk about. I feel
No.
like
Caleb
No.
Williams played like shit. Simone Biles' husband scored a touchdown, first
Yeah.
touchdown of the year for the Bears.
it's exciting.
I had that one. Simone Biles' husband, anytime touchdown scorer.
Probably would have paid out $1 million.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I guess we kind of already talked about, the Alex Pierce touchdown. But hey, Joe Mixon, he's back. He looked back.
Took the gloves off, dude.
I mean, workhorse.
Yeah, that was a fun game, and Anthony Richardson didn't look good, but I think we also have to keep in mind this is his 6th NFL start, or that was.
Yeah.
And
I mean, my thing with him is just he's not a good intermediate passer.
yeah, I mean, because the issue is when he makes that throw, that deep ball to Pierce, you're there's maybe 1 or 2 other guys in the league who can make that throw, slipping, don't have your footing, and you heave that. I think ESPN was he launches 60 yards. No, that was 70. There's a full 70 yards in the air with strictly his arm with pressure in his face. It was a phenomenal throw, and it went up it might have hit the scoreboard, honestly. It probably could have been an 80-yard throw that hit the scoreboard and then went down and hit Alex Pierce.
And you mentioned that only 2 quarterbacks in this league could make that throw, and the other person will actually never play a snap of NFL football because it's Joe Milton.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. I am bullish on Anthony Richardson. I think he's gonna be a good quarterback. I think there will be at some point when he rounds out his medium passing game, and I think his IQ gets a little bit better. He gets a little more wet feet. I think there will be somewhat of a discussion between him and CJ Stroud in that division.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun division to watch for a while with them. And, Trevor in the mix as well, kind of depending on how he pans out. But if, I feel like I'm just glazing Josh Allen on this pod right now. But, if Anthony Richardson can get, that Josh Allen-esque development where he can put together the raw talent into actual, football IQ and be able to hit the intermediate throws and take what the defense is given to him, then the sky's really the limit for him.
Yeah, and health.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm out on T-Law, dude. I just don't think he is a good quarterback.
Thank you.
Trevor Lawrence played a good game yesterday,
dude. I don't agree with that at all. I don't. Agree.
What did he do wrong?
Yeah, he didn't make a mistake. I just think there were many opportunities that he could have played significantly better. The dude had a QBR of 63 yesterday. We're gonna act
the dude also had a fucking touchdown that seals the game, fumbled at the 1-yard line.
Okay. I mean, yeah, sure, but once again, I still think there are many opportunities for him to go and win that. He's an average quarterback, and he played average yesterday.
Who said
that's all he is?
Was it you, Owen, who said top 15, and I said that's a bust?
I mean,
who was it?
No, it's me because it's
yeah,
we're talking about shitting on these quarterbacks. This is literally a prime example.
He's average, bro. I'm not sure.
He is top 15 quarterback in the NFL.
That's not. Can you answer me this question? Yes or no? Is that good enough for you to be a franchise quarterback? If you're the 15th best quarterback in the league,
probably
the number 1 overall pick. You're supposed to be a playmaker. You're not like Justin Fields stepping in and just not doing a turnover.
Dude,
you need to be able to make plays.
Quarterback play at an elite level there's maybe 7 guys that you can go out there and say, hey, you are an elite player. First overall pick or not, dude. Kyler Murray was a first overall pick.
Yeah, but Trevor Lawrence was a generational talent.
Dude, we all say you don't know what you don't know what these kids are gonna look like out of high school, dude, when they come play. You know how many 5 stars don't make the NFL? I just don't think it's fair to judge someone based on that. It's is he gonna be the best quarterback of all time? No.
I'm not saying that. I'm
saying that to the Jack's point because he was a number 1 overall pick. I don't think that he is a bad quarterback, and I think he is a franchise quarterback because of the current state of quarterbacks.
If you're your division's 3rd best quarterback, which
he is not the 3rd best quarterback.
I believe he's going to be the 3rd best quarterback in his division if Anthony Richardson can stay healthy for the entirety of this season. By the end of this season, going into next season, I think it will be much clearer that he's the 3rd best quarterback in his division. If that's the case, your team is going nowhere. I don't care whether or not we think that that's good enough at number 15 in the league to be a franchise guy. as a fan, if you're a fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars and you have the third best quarterback in your division, you have no organizational direction. I'm sorry, you just don't. And that's
By the
not
way,
good.
I don't know.
Sarah, guess how many fumbles Trevor Lawrence had last year?
A lot, dude. He turns the
12.
ball over.
Guess how
Yeah.
many he had the year before? 12. His rookie
Dude.
year, 9. What do you think the best record he's put up in his first 3 seasons were?
Dude,
was?
they
What do you
fell
think the
off
best
last
record
year.
was?
But 9-8. They went
Yeah,
to the playoffs.
9
Dude,
and 8 against
I
a terrible
mean-
AFC South.
I mean, I just don't. I don't think it really matters, dude. Like, he is a good quarterback.
Dude.
I
I
mean,
think the jury's out. Like,
Dude, he had
but he
26 turnovers. No, my bad. He only lost 7 fumbles. He had 21 turnovers, but add another 5 fumble recoveries. 20.
I mean,
jury's out,
one.
but he, like, especially with the number 1 overall pick, you get a little more leeway. I think it's with him. This is what, year 4, year 5.
he's already got a second contract.
Yeah, but I'm saying before you really hit the panic button, I think you got to give him another year or 2,
I mean,
just because he was.
If the Jaguars miss the playoffs this year,
what is the end goal? Like, if you want to restart from square one, what is the broader, like, what is the brighter side of it is what I'm asking you.
bro, if you can't make the playoffs, if you can't be a consistent playoff team, what is there to hold on to?
I mean, and we're
You
also
lost to a rookie quarterback.
We're
Like,
also
you
going to
didn't
talk
make-
about.
you-
We're going to talk
You
about
lost the
the
division
Jag.
to a rookie quarterback.
His
Like,
one season
that's
he
enough
had,
said.
dude. We're talking about the offensive player. He's literally a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now. CJ Stroud.
Where did we get to CJ Stroud? I'm just saying if you
Because
can't.
he said he lost to a rookie quarterback last year. That's just what Jack said.
Oh, okay. Dude, all I'm saying is, bro, first of all, if you want to say he lost to CJ Stroud, fine. Look at the slide they went on last year, dude. I'm a Bucs fan. Like,
he got injured.
dude,
He
it
missed
doesn't
1
matter.
game.
If you can't be a consistent like playoff threat, bro, like if you can't make the playoffs, dude, what good are you doing?
Dude, he made the playoffs. He made the playoffs 2 years
You
ago.
have a Super Bowl winning coach.
They won a team, dude.
You've had weapons around. I'm just saying, you have a coach that's won.
They
the
have
Super
not
Bowl.
had good weapons around him either. Like, Calvin Ridley was fine. Brian Thomas, I think, is going to be a good receiver.
I think he has an above average.
and that's
repertoire.
literally what the Jaguars are, is average. And I mean, is he,
Average is not good.
dude?
Average is average.
We're Bucks fans. You guys are Eagles fans. We know what it's like to win, dude. Like, you know how many teams would be fucking itching to have Trevor Lawrence on their team?
Maybe the
7.
Panthers. And maybe the
7?
Giants.
You think that there's only
Tell me the truth, bro.
you think that there's 20
7. Like,
Who?
Right now,
dude, this is
Buffalo
insane.
wouldn't take him. Miami wouldn't take him.
I don't want to waste the whole podcast on Trevor Lawrence and fucking Josh Allen, but like I'll name you the only 7 teams right now if you want.
Dude, yes. Name me the only 7 teams that wouldn't take
I'm
Trevor
gonna
Lawrence.
go down the list. I'll make it quick. The Ravens certainly don't want him. The Chiefs don't want him. The Jets don't want him. The 49ers don't want him. The Packers or the Eagles don't want him. Maybe you could make a case for the Steelers, although Justin Fields, you never know. The Falcons the Falcons aren't going to take him. They just signed Kirk Cousins. The Cardinals aren't going to take him over Kyler Murray. The Bills aren't going to take him. The Titans, there's 2. I'll give you 2. The Bears aren't going to take him because they just drafted Caleb Williams. The Patriots drafted Drake May. They're not going to take him. The Bengals aren't going to take him over Joe Burrow. The Texans or Colts aren't going to take him. The Jaguars, there you go. There's the Jaguars. The Dolphins aren't going to take him over Tua. The Panthers, there's 3. The Saints, maybe you can
The
make a
Saints
case
are
4.
for sure taking him.
So there's I'll give that to you. There's 4. The Vikings, I don't know.
They are taking him.
No, they're not. They just drafted J.J. McCarthy.
Dude,
The Giants, I'll give you 5. The Raiders, I'll give you 6. The Broncos just named Bo Nix captain. The Seahawks, I'll give you
they are
7.
taking him
The
over.
Cowboys have Dak. The Browns have the second highest paid player of all time. The Commanders just drafted Jane Daniels. The Bucks have Baker Mayfield. The Rams have Stafford. And the Lions have Goff.
Did you say the Giants? I
You
didn't
can,
hear
we
you.
can we can not just say
Yeah.
because they just teams drafted a quarterback that they wouldn't take Trevor Lawrence.
Why can't you say that?
He is better.
This conversation going to go
Dude.
forever.
Sean,
We need a
give
mute
me
button.
your
We
give
need
me
a
your
mute
2
button.
cents on Trevor Lawrence. Dude, I just cannot believe how much like we're shitting on this guy after just having this conversation about how the quarterback, all the issues with quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, he is not bad.
Yeah, I think there also has to be a set of parameters on this debate because, like, yeah, I think the Broncos was one that you really didn't like, but if you're going to consider the fact that you just spent the 10th overall pick on a quarterback that you plan to develop, then you're probably not taking Trevor Lawrence. If you're taking all things equal, like right now, like Trevor Lawrence, you take over any rookie quarterback. Doesn't matter who it is. So I think it depends on which way you look at it. And kind of back to what I was saying earlier, I think your level of concern with him kind of grows by the day. Like his time is running out, realistically.
But-
And this goes back to like the success, like CJ Stroud comes in and has instant success more so than Trevor Lawrence has had yet in his career.
But that's one of, dude, the amount of quarterbacks that are first round quarterbacks get taken into the league every year to end up sucking ass.
Yeah, but when you spend the number 1 overall pick on a guy who's this hyped up, I can really see where both sides of the coin are on this. I think
You guys didn't have to
giving
watch
Trevor Lawrence
Mike,
more
you guys
time.
didn't have to watch Mike Glennon play quarterback for 2 years. Like,
Are you
did have to
fucking
watch
kidding
Sam
me? Do
Bradford.
we want to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
through?
you guys didn't have to watch fucking Josh McCown play quarterback for you for a year. Like, if you have someone, Baker Mayfield is an average quarterback, but is better than Trevor Lawrence because of the weapons around him. If you put Trevor Lawrence in this Bucs offense that played the other day, do I think he'd have equal or greater success? Yes. Baker Mayfield was a number 1 overall pick, and everyone now loves him again. People shit on him because he tried to play injured years ago. Like,
I'm going to say I've always been a Baker guy. I do
It's
want
like-
that out there.
it's like the same thing. Trevor Lawrence has gave you a steadier trajectory, and I mean, and that half of it is the issues with his team around him. It's like, what are you going to do?
All right. So this game was won by the Dolphins. And yeah, Miami's good.
Dude, the Dolphins played like shit, dude. Like, and we're gonna
And
say
they still
they-
won, and the Dolphins played like shit.
yes, because Travis Etienne fumbled the ball at the 1 yard
Tank
line to
Bigsby.
put him up
Tank
by
Bigsby
him up.
fumbled.
whoever it was, dude. They fumbled the ball at the 1 yard line to go up 24-14.
Bro, I
Like,
love how we just argued for 20 minutes and then Era just proved our point in like 1 sentence.
dude, Trevor Lawrence did not play bad. I just
He
don't.
made the wrong decision of handing off the ball.
Yeah, God forbid he calls the play. Like,
He should have known the audible.
he should have known he should have been right behind Tank Bigsby to pick up the fumble. Like, the guy's not Jesus, dude. Like, the team isn't around him is not
Certainly
good.
not.
He fucking
Like,
looks like Jesus.
He
with
is
the hair.
touchdown Jesus.
Like, dude, it's insane. We sit here and we talk about quarterbacks getting shit on for being just not good, like for being average or good for 40 minutes. Then we come out here and say, oh, this guy that has not played bad football for the last 3 years by any shape or form is awful. Like,
The whole thing is not bad doesn't mean they're playing good and up to the number 1, like clear cut number 1 quarterback
Thank
in their
you.
draft class. This isn't like Bryce Young getting picked first overall.
Bryce Young was the number 1 overall quarterback literally 2
Yeah, and
years ago.
everybody with the brain knew that they should have went with Stroud. 5'9". Bro, that's like
I'm
Kevin
sorry.
Hart out there.
It's just like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, elite quarterback play doesn't grow on trees.
And it didn't in his case either, bro.
And that's why I'm saying, like, sometimes, like Jared Goff, bro, he's average. People put him in
Better
the
than
top
Trevor
10.
Lawrence.
Yes, because
Right.
of the playable around, dude. This is an insane conversation.
We gotta move on.
This is an insane conversation. It's
I will say this has been really fun, toxic dialogue. And if we didn't preface this by saying that we were short on time and then waste all the time that we did between the past 2 arguments, but that was fun. They were both fun. Cincinnati, New England. Did we talk about this?
no.
No.
Ramondre Stevenson is a dog.
Dude, the Bengals just can't start a season well. It's not in their DNA. I don't know what it is.
They
And then
literally
when
have
they
Super
do,
Bowl
Joe Burrow
hangover
gets
all the time. It's crazy.
Yeah, and another costly fumble in the red zone by Tanner Hudson. So
No,
I mean,
that's Joe Burrow's fault, dude.
yeah, you should have thrown it to somebody else.
Yeah, dude. Joe Burrow, this is all on him.
But this is what happens with the Bengals is they get to this point, and I feel like they their lack of them not being able to start the season well sets them up to where they have to go on the road and win tough playoff games, and that takes a toll, and then they can't cap it off with a ring as a result of that. Is that a crazy thing to say?
No.
Nope.
I thought it was cool too. Like you guys already said the technical stuff, but from like a a distance from afar, seeing Patriots players like excited and happy to play football again for their coach, I thought it was just like a cool thing to see, and just not something I've been used to seeing for the past however many years now. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, they're still not a good team. I
No.
think this is just the classic. This is the Bengals with Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow. This is what they do. Is they just are terrible in week one. They're going to start a lot of dialogue on them, like, oh, are the Bengals not what we thought they were this year? And then they're going to finish with 11, 12 wins and go to the AFC title game, barring injury. But what do we got next? Carolina, New Orleans. This should be brief. I mean, Dennis Allen has
First
probably given
podcast.
himself a little more time, but
Dennis Allen, dude, they just beat the Panthers by 37 points. Like, we all know what the Panthers are. They are the worst run franchise in the NFL at the moment. Their coach has no experience whatsoever. He was his first time calling offensive plays last year, and now he's the head coach of a football team.
the only thing I'm saying is I'm not saying Dennis Allen is going to make it through the season. I'm saying he might get fired week 11 as opposed to week 10 just because of how dominant they were over Carolina. And
Yeah.
Carolina sucks. Like,
Carolina sucks is like a nice word.
and their
They're ass.
future is
Yeah.
bleak.
Yeah. Bryce Young sucks. First overall pick, mind you, 2 years ago.
Yep.
Yep.
That's one guy though that I'm not mad about the discourse on because you watch him play and you just know he is terrible.
Yeah, there were red flags all over the place. Like, we kind of knew what he was going to be.
Oh, former 5-star quarterback. Went and had a lot of success in college. First overall pick.
And what I was said the entire time, Bryce Young should not be the number 1 overall pick.
It didn't matter if he was the number 2 overall pick. It's the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, but anybody with eyes could have seen that Stroud. But the fact is they didn't take Stroud, and Stroud was available. That's kind of like the RG3 luck situation. It's like whoever falls in your lap, you're taking, like at the 2 pick. Like any quarterback situation. Like, and the Panthers just fucked it up.
Minnesota, New York. I picked the Giants in this game just because I thought their
So did
defense would be enough to keep them in it. But
Goal.
their
Daniel
defense
Jones
isn't
fucking
good. Their
blows
offense
ass,
isn't.
dude. That
He has
dude's
more touchdowns to the opposing team than his teammates after signing that big old extension. So,
Going to go down as one of the biggest blunders, paying him over Saquon Barkley. And being a New Jersey native myself, trying to tell Giants fans that he was nothing without Saquon in the backfield during that 22 run. Nobody wanted to listen, and everybody outside of people blinded by the color blue could see it.
hey, listen, Devin Singletary still has 16 games to prove it.
I'm just curious to see. It'd be fun to see Sam Darnold keep up like a pretty good year. Like, he's obviously not going to play as well as he did on Sunday, but if he could be a serviceable guy and the Vikings win like 7 games, I think that's a fun storyline.
I had the Vikings winning just because Daniel Jones is terrible. And I think that Darnold can put together a Case Keenum year like they did in 2017, 2018. Like, he can go win a few games, maybe pull out a lucky 1 or 2, and have like a 8-9, 9-8.
Dude, Case Keenum year, I think you don't remember how good he was. He received.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, better than you would have thought. Like, much better than you would have thought.
Yeah.
Not to the extent that he went to the NFC Championship.
What week do you think Brian Dable eventually puts his job ahead of starting Daniel Jones? Like, he finally just pulls the plug and benches him and decides that they're done with that experiment.
I mean, what's the alternative though? Like,
Tyrod.
do they have time? No, he's gone.
There's not an alternative, but it's just clearly this guy. If he keeps starting him, he is going to lose his job, and I think Dable is a pretty decent coach.
Oh, it's Drew Lock. That's even worse. Oh my god. Yeah, he's screwed unless he
Isn't
wants to go with
that
the media.
Isn't that worse with the way Daniel Jones has played before he tore his ACL last year and the way he started this year?
Jesus, that is just terrible.
He can't read a defense. And when he goes into these RPOs, he predetermines what he's going to do with the ball. When RPOs are entirely like just you have to watch one guy. You have to watch one, generally a linebacker, to determine what you're going to do with the ball. And he doesn't even do that.
He's bad. He's just bad. All
Oh,
the way
you
around.
mean 6th overall draft pick Daniel Jones?
Dude, oh my god.
Once again, everybody knew coming out of Duke that he was shit, except for the New York Giants.
Dude.
Like, I don't know, like, what case you're trying to make here.
Dude,
You're just like,
I'm just saying, dude.
Yes, I wasn't a
fine.
Trevor Lawrence hater, but now I'm literally his biggest hater, dude.
Quarterback play literally
If
just
he doesn't play
grow on
fucking
trees,
spot
dude.
on from here on out, dude, I'm taking notes every single game for the rest of this season, dude. I'm leading the. I might start a Twitter account. Like I'm all over this dude, bro.
Dude,
And it's
I
you
just
that-
don't understand why, dude.
if he's not perfect for the rest of the season, get rid of him. One
Listen,
incompletion.
My point here is first round quarterbacks generally don't pan out. Like quarterbacks in general don't pan out. When you have a guy that is top 15, top 20 even, and you have a chance to win, like that's all you can ask for in the NFL.
It's Mac McCorkle time.
Let's go 2021
Oh.
draft class, dude. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones.
We don't need to do this.
One of them is a backup. Only one guy is a starter still in the league. It's like that's my point.
And he was the clear-cut number one, right?
Yes,
And
Just
he's
like-
still shit.
just like Kyler Murray, dude, first overall pick.
Kyler Murray, I didn't think was going to be good either. He's short.
Yes, everyone. You can't just think everyone is not going to be good.
Bro, I just know ball. I got it.
Just to say too, like the discourse that I went on a whole rant about earlier doesn't apply to head
Trevor
scratching picks. Like guys at the time where you were like, why did they take him like a Daniel Jones or a Bryce Young? It
Even
applies
Wilson
to
was
guys who
kind
have
of a
proven
Bryce-
success in the league,
Bryce
and
Young
then
was-
after one lapse they get thrown to the wind.
Bryce Young was a shoo-in for a first round draft pick.
Yeah, and there was very red alarms going off above his head that everybody could see. Like that
doesn't-
is
He didn't
Doesn't-
want
it
to
doesn't
face the
matter.
combine because he didn't want to get shown up.
It doesn't matter, dude. It's like when you have the guy's projected to go first round, top 3 pick. Like it doesn't matter.
It's just we're average Joes. Like, if we can see it, and if every other average Joe in the country can see it, what is an NFL scout doing not being able to see it?
I don't know. We should have their jobs.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
Jack for sure, dude. Every quarterback I've named so far, he knows they're not going to be good.
I knew CJ Stroud was going to have a great year last year. I actually called it when Nick Foles was drafted that he was going to have a great season in Philly, get traded, come back to Philly and win a Super Bowl.
Jack's on the LeBron thing right now.
Jack saw Baker get drafted. He's like, I think in like 6 or 7 years after he almost gets kicked out of the league that he's going to just rejuvenate.
Yeah. Florida seems like a nice spot.
All right,
That's
Chargers,
why I was in
Raiders,
Tampa. That's why I went to Tampa. I knew it.
Chargers, Raiders, two not very good teams.
No. I expected more out of Gardner Minshew, personally.
Yeah, so did I. I kind of gave him a little love last episode, and same with Will Levis. I think I just have this affinity for these guys who like aren't good, but have shown flashes of being good.
J.K. Dobbins, 131 rushing yards in the second half. I mean, I said it. I'll say it. I literally said that the Chargers just took the Ravens running back room. I guess that works in Los Angeles too, because geez, I mean, he did have 4 rushing yards in the first half, but like, way to like get that out of your mind and just run the fucking ball. Like he literally carried that team to a victory.
Yeah. Denver, Seattle, Bo Nix, rough start. This was just a weird game all around, though, I feel like.
Seattle
who's
also rough start.
Yeah, 2 safeties. That was just I don't even know what happened there.
Yeah, I was like taxiing on the runway about to take off on my flight, and I was just scrolling through ESPN Gamecasts, and I saw 2 safeties, and I was like, this has to be a typo, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
what,
think
like
The
3-2.
weirdest way that you could possibly get to 10 points in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
neither of those teams are going to be good.
No.
No. I did love Marshawn on the sideline though, with Mike McDonald.
But also, like, why is he on the sideline giving him like a shoulder rub? Like, come
This is
on.
Marshawn, and he's probably the only player in the league who can do that and not get kicked out.
But you got to have like some boundaries, man. Especially as like a rookie coach. It's not like he
Marshawn
was
Lynch
Pete
does not
Carroll.
have boundaries.
Cowboys 37, Browns 17.
I
Deshaun
called it.
Watson.
33-17. Don't give Dallas more points or I'm going to freak out.
Oh, my bad. Deshaun
Called it.
Watson sucks.
He's so bad.
I
And-
literally said last podcast. You got. I think all of you took Dallas, right?
No, I
Every
took
single
the
one.
Browns.
No, Ara took the Browns.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. All
Oh,
you took
we can
Cleveland,
also
right?
quote a few things that he said about the Browns too, if we want.
Dude, Deshaun Watson is not it, bro.
I don't remember if I took the Browns. I think I said Dallas would win, but I could see an avenue where the Browns won. I don't know. I could be
I
wrong.
just also think the Browns defense just did not play up to par for
I mean-
for what they are.
But Dallas didn't have like a tremendous offensive game.
No, Brandon Aubrey's just a dog.
Yeah,
They needed to let him take that 71-yard attempt. Like, fuck it, why not? You were up by 30 at that point. Like,
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
and-
that-
they are a team that needs to start Jameis Winston.
The Browns. I agree. I think that would actually give them a better chance to win right now. 100%.
I just looked up and the 49ers have run twice the amount of plays as the Jets. I just want to throw that out there.
that's very good. And I mean, Eric, you were talking about how Jerry Jeudy and his speed, like he could be a really good wide receiver too. Like Winston throwing the deep ball can open up that offense even more.
Especially with after that LASIK surgery where you can read signs and
Yeah.
like play.
You can probably tell which uniform is the right uniform to throw
And,
it.
and you saw the clip. Did you guys see where like Deshaun was like trying to pick up his offensive lineman off the ground? The dude just like,
Yeah.
rejected it. It's like, dude, no one likes Deshaun Watson.
I mean, the cherry on top, he got another allegation today.
Yeah, I
Oh,
did
really?
see that. Yeah.
From like 4 years ago. Like, how long is this going to go on? He's going to be like 70 and he's going to get another one from that time.
And then, dude, I saw the allegations on it though. It's kind of
Yeah, it's a little bit worse than a massage.
He's a
it's
bad
little
guy.
it's graphic. Yeah, he's a bad guy, even worse football player.
Yeah, like that's what happens like to most players who sit out a year. They just can't return to form.
And it's just like he was so good in Houston and at Clemson and whatnot, but it's just like, dude, like after all that's happened, dude, there's just no way. Like I like thought that he'd have like a better season than last year because like the only way you really could go was up, and like, boy, was I wrong. Like
Mhm.
that dude sucks.
Is there a chance that he can't throw the ball anymore because he just has massage oil in his pores on his hands?
He's too loose. He's too
Yeah.
loose. So many massages.
That's good.
Allegedly.
And it's
Hypothetically.
funny. I saw a tweet. It was like this is the most Browns thing ever that they mortgage their entire future on Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield ends up being a better player. So with that, I'm gonna let you guys start talking about your Bucks game. I will say the Bucks are good. I like to root for Baker. I just don't like to root alongside Era, and I'll leave it at that.
You want me to go, Aaron? I know you probably have a lot to say.
Yeah, you got it.
Number one, the thing that put the biggest smile on my face yesterday was the run game and Bucky Irving. Hands down, without a doubt. That dude is a dog. He's explosive. He's shifty. I think, but that room with Rashad White and Bucky Irving is going to be like criminally underrated throughout the year, but statistically like one of the most effective units, I think, in the entire NFL. Like that combination of Rashad White, him in the screen game and out of the flat, and as like your safety valve is like one of the best options you can have around the association. Like that dude's yards after catch ability is insane. So anyways, number one was the running back room yesterday. Very happy to see that. Number two, Liam Cohen, you get a gold star. I thought the offense was absolutely impeccable yesterday. There was no mistakes, maybe a few, but like it was the passing attack was there. I think Baker should have had 5 touchdowns yesterday.
It's creative.
It was creative. If McMillan doesn't, drop one off his fingertips on the first drive, He has 5 touchdowns, over 300 yards on the day. He was impeccable. Aaron will probably talk about that, so I won't spend much time on Baker, but absolutely like 5-star performance from him. The offense was creative, so Cohen, you get an absolute gold star. The defense, I thought, was pretty good yesterday. I mean, Jaden Daniels ran all over the field, but like it is what it is. We kind of expected that coming into it. Era mentioned it on the previous podcast. The Bucs had a habit of like making every single rookie quarterback look like a god or the second coming of like Michael Vick. So I thought they did a pretty good job containing him yesterday, even though he had probably the best rookie quarterback performance out of the lot, but still it wasn't much. We are absolutely banged up, though, going into next week, so I'm a little bit worried about that. I know Era will talk about it, but overall, I would say I was shaky. Not shaky. I was quietly confident going into week 1. I think I said we were going to win like 10 games. After yesterday, I'm leaning more towards 11 or 12. And I'm definitely bullish right now on what's going on in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, dude. Like Liam Cohen, the way that you see the route stem when it's like every route, like watching some of the like the reruns and like the analysis on it, every route stems off of a zone and man beater. It's insane. Like the creativity with the motion, like. I know, granted, Washington, I would say their defense probably will not be good. I will say Washington probably will not be good, but their D-line is good, and we schemed them. I would say we schemed them open to give Baker enough time on, like, I'd say 90% of dropbacks. Tristan Wirfs also played bad yesterday for being Tristan Wirfs. So you definitely, like, you roll with the punches. But I would say that was my favorite part of the game was seeing, like, I alluded to it at the start when talking about like how much of a difference the center makes. Graham Barton is so good.
I was gonna say that, like watching him pull, like I can't remember who said it, but it reminded him of Kelsey. It's like,
Yeah,
okay, let's slow down a little bit there, but like, yeah,
I'm
like
not
watching
gonna
him-
say
yeah.
that he's Kelsey by any means, but like being able to climb to the second level from your center, or even like execute a double team. Like Bucky Irving got better blocks than Rachaad White. Like I can confidently say that because the way Bucky Irving hits the hole is very different than the way Rachaad White hits a hole. He's also just like the size difference. But seeing those two, like Owen said, it's thunder and lightning. Like it's one of those things where I even feel confident. Like Sean Tucker, like if he goes in, like we'll be successful. Like seeing the way that we schemed our receivers open and got like didn't have any situations like last year. Like everyone got the ball. Especially like the way that Godwin, had his debacle middle of the
Seeing
season
him
last
score a
year.
touchdown was just good.
Yeah. Well, even seeing him catch the ball.
Yeah.
I remember last year when him and Dave had to have that come into Jesus talk, like, hey, brother, throw me the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It was good to see all the weapons coming together. Didn't really have much use for the tight end room, which is fine because I don't think that they're very good. But I mean, just from like a weapons standpoint, like I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better looking unit. I think they were probably the best looking offense in the NFL yesterday from like a functionality. I mean, like they ran for close to 100 or right around that. Passed for Baker threw for 285. Like they punted the ball one time.
Yeah.
It was smooth. It was clean. I don't think Washington's going to be great. Secondary already a concern for like the future. Winfield's out next few weeks. Bryce Hall done for the season. I'd love to see him bring somebody in. But I mean, with playing short on the D line and having the injuries, I thought they played pretty well defensively. I mean, what are you going to do when your quarterback scrambles all the time? Like, is what it is. Yaya Diaby played fucking lights out, 4 pressures. Like, he's going to get there. He's huge. Dude, like, you see him in person, dude. He's a specimen.
Is that you
insane.
flexing your season tickets?
No, dude, I saw him at Green Lemon, too, one time.
Yo.
But, yeah,
You
dude.
current post game, Green Lemon, you got a nice margarona.
Yeah, probably, dude. But, dude, I mean, like, as far as expectations go, like, I mean, from the last pod, I was a lot higher on them than Owen was from a standpoint of, like, wins and losses. And I think I feel pretty good. I mean, like, I think we can score with anybody, and then it kind of all comes down to the secondary about how like the season will go when you get into those passing downs. Obviously, if we don't bring in somebody, so all right, good win. All you can ask to do is be 1-0 each week. Big game going to Detroit. So
To your point about your center play, like having the luxury of a center who can snap the ball, pull, and get out to the second level is something that obviously Jack and I have had, for most of our life as Eagles fans. And it's such a nice luxury to have. And it honestly can totally change the way your offense operates.
yeah,
And it's
dude,
fantastic.
the Bucks run game after Jensen got hurt, like God bless Robert Hainsey, like I said, but he just wasn't good in the run game. Like he got bullied up front because he's small, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like he's a fine backup, but he was like the interior needed someone that had that size and that athleticism to kind of make things happen. And
Yeah.
I think Barton does that.
JL proves once again why he is one of the best in the league in terms of the front office.
If not the best.
Yeah. And he is so underrated too, dude. Like he just knows how to fill gaps on a roster without having to go and plunge at people. I mean, Tom is like the only time he's fucking plunged in his career, honestly. The guy knows how to retain talent, draft talent. He's fucking so good, dude. And he's a luxury to
It's gonna be
have.
a fun game, man.
I hope so. I hope the secondary's back, dude. I'm excited for the Detroit game to next week. Obviously, like every week you kind of get excited, but I mean, I think it's two heavyweight teams, and like I honestly wasn't impressed with Detroit yesterday. I thought they to kind of go into that. I mean the Rams left some points on the board, but losing Nakua does that to you in the second half. Losing just a focal point of your offense.
And just playing the entire game with a patchwork offensive line too.
Yeah.
I mean, also, just Mahoney, those 2 auto draft picks, how are they working out for you?
Terrible, dude. And that was, I'm really happy that I was able to get into the draft 3 minutes late and we were 20 picks in. 'Cause that was insane. What did everyone have a player queued? Everyone knew their exact pick right off the bat. It was
Dude, it's the first round. Everybody, like,
Okay,
everyone's like,
if
"All
I
right, I know these players are
missing
gonna
the
be gone."
first round was not where my quarrel was. It was the fact that we were 20 picks into the draft within 3 minutes.
Yeah, man, you snooze, you lose, bro.
You were playing cornhole. It wasn't like, you
You
had
had
a heart
something
attack.
going on.
I won that cornhole game too.
Well, you got to decide which one's more important, and apparently you picked cornhole.
Yeah, they're not. No, those picks aren't working out well. But when I come back and win the league, I'm gonna mandate that everyone must take at least 10 seconds to pick.
Yeah, but I like going into like I said, like the Lions. I thought they looked good. Like they definitely found that identity towards the end of the game, where like they start to realize they could ground it and pound it against the Rams.
That overtime drive was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it.
It was
I,
just
Looked on my list.
it just felt like when you're watching an MMA fight, like a UFC fight, and one guy is clearly wavering very hard and just getting his ass beat, and he's about to get knocked out soon. It was like the meme from The Simpsons, like, stop, he's already dead. Like, they just could not. It was ground and pound football. We're going to run through your face, and we're going to beat you on the line of scrimmage. And I think they threw one pass maybe, and it was like a swing pass. It was fun football to watch, to be honest.
Live update. Jets just turned the ball over on downs on the 50. Aaron Rodgers has 173 passing yards, like 14 for maybe 15 for 22 now. Not looking great. I kind of, said this game would decide how far the Jets could go in the playoffs, and it's not looking too good. But
Generally how week
great.
one goes, it determines how far you can go in the playoffs.
well, I mean, I'm just talking about defense. Like that's the best defense they're going to see all season. Like,
Yeah, exactly. That It's week 1.
All right.
The
Anything else?
Eagles looked great week 1 last year.
No,
We
they did
won,
not. No, they did not. By the way,
and that's how our season turned out. Fucking shit.
I mean, if that's the case, dude, I'm very happy with the way week 1 went.
week 1 overreactions, classic.
I mean, like I said, I think going into the Lions games, I don't think if you guys got anything else. Like I wasn't impressed by their defense. I still don't think they can cover. Carlton Davis gets injured like every 4th play, or he drops an interception, or he just kind of. He's one of the weirdest players in the NFL. I think he has that street cred on him because he's good. Like he's good.
You feel good when he's back there, but he's not always back there.
Yeah, but then you watch and you're like, dude, like he gets lost.
Dude, and it was so sad seeing like Tre'Davious White. He's just the injuries have caught up to him.
Mm-hmm.
He was. I was at the draft in Philly when he got drafted, and he was a player I really would have liked to have, but he's over the hill and probably a little earlier than he would have been in his career had he not had the ACL and all the other stuff pile on top of him. But he's done, and he just had this look on the sidelines after he got burnt for that touchdown where he knew it too. He was like, I can't keep up with these guys anymore. But yeah, I mean, that was a fun game between two teams that are good and two teams that are going to be in the NFC playoff race. And, you know, I think that makes, you know, like you keep alluding to, next week's game with Detroit and Tampa a very marquee matchup.
Yeah.
Yep.
Glad they're kicking it off at 1:00.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we get the Falcons at home on Monday night.
Yep.
Beat the brakes off them, dude.
Last time we played the Falcons Monday night, though, was 2019. That game pissed me off.
Fucking terrible memories.
All right, yeah, so we'll catch the rest of this Jets 49ers game. We got pretty off topic on this, but hopefully there was some entertainment value in it. I think there was.
It's definitely clippable.
You know what we're gonna do?
We're just
It
going
doesn't have to be a podcast, but we gotta hop on here for like 15 minutes. It might end up being 15 hours. QB rankings.
Oh, boy.
That'd be a long podcast.
That's an off-season podcast.
We
Well, I
spent
mean,
10 hours just trying to figure out where to put Trevor Lawrence.
dude, I like.
Don't.
Mac,
It's just insane, dude.
Put him at 15.
You put him at
15
15?
because that's the middle. Put him at 16, and then we just have to figure out everyone else from there. He's our baseline.
This running back who's in for McCaffrey is having a day.
It's his
Yeah.
first career start, Jordan Mason.
I'm surprised how bad the run defense of the Jets have looked.
It might just tell you about the Niners' offensive line. But, yeah, I mean, you would expect Mosley and Williams to come in and clog those holes up.
Well, I mean, like you see the Jets like line up and they look small. I feel like that's me. Like, if you see them, like you kind of like they just look small up front.
Yeah.
And they just zooming in on, like, Garrett Wilson. And I know, like, he's looking down at his iPad, but, like, they don't got any energy. I know, like, they know they lost, but, like, still. Like, come on, it's week 1. Like, there's no energy, no life in them.
I know a team like that.
All right.
Also, we forgot to talk about. Oh, and I know you got to run. You can head out. I just wanted to say, the Colorado Buffaloes are the biggest joke of a program in college
Terrible.
football.
Terrible.
Yeah, I meant to get to that game there. That culture is terrible. The team is terrible. Everything about them, terrible.
Yeah,
146 rushing yards, a touchdown on 28 rushes. Jeez.
bell cow.
Beat him.
It just proves you don't need Christian McCaffrey to be good at the Niners offense.
Yeah. Sure.
That was fun.
Yep.
well-
Overreaction Monday in the books.
That was a
And
good
some
time.
extracurriculars as well.
Yep, it's always
All
good to have them.
Been a pleasure. Thanks, fellas. Thanks
All right,
to whoever listens. Thank you guys. Sayonara.